A factory manager, desperate to hit a quarterly production quota, bypasses the automatic safety locks on a heavy industrial press. Sparks fly. The machinery seizes. A worker is severely injured and rushed to the hospital. The entire assembly line grinds to a halt, and across the country, buyers are furiously demanding their delayed shipments. To anyone standing on that factory floor, this looks like pure chaos. It is a tangled mess of ruined equipment, physical injury, and looming financial disaster. How do we even begin to sort out who is responsible for what? This is why the United States legal system separates human interactions into highly specific, categorized classifications. This slide lists the core functions of the law. While the system does handle punishment, it is primarily engineered to maintain peace, define standards, and facilitate the orderly planning required for society to function. To restore order to that factory floor, the legal system has to methodically dissect this single accident and categorize the specific rules that were broken. If we freeze our factory scenario, the very first step the legal system takes is dividing the incident into two distinct halves, public law and private law. This table classifies laws. On the left, public law dictates interactions with the government, like the manager violating safety regulations. On the right, private law, or lex privata, dictates how private citizens and business entities interact with each other. This framework covers the private relationships damaged in the accident, the injured worker's relationship with the factory owner, and the broken promises to the waiting buyers. Pinpointing whether a broken rule falls under public or private law is the essential first step to figuring out exactly to whom an obligation is owed. Our single factory accident triggers three overlapping areas of law. First, breaking a safety statute means the government brings a criminal case on behalf of society. Second, the injured worker files a civil suit for personal harm, falling under tort law. This slide outlines a core concept in those tort cases, the reasonable person standard. The court asks if the manager failed to exercise the average care and judgment a hypothetical reasonable person would use. Overriding a safety lock clearly fails that standard. Finally, the buyers sitting across the country with no product have a civil claim against the factory, based entirely on their private written agreements. The system handles these violations differently. As this slide shows, criminal cases brought by the government seek punitive remedies, like fines or a prison sentence, to protect society. Civil cases, like our torts and contracts, seek legal remedies, usually money, to make the injured private parties whole again. A messy action in the real world rarely breaks a single rule in isolation. Instead, it sits squarely in the crosshairs of criminal, tort, and contract law at the exact same time. Eventually, the dust settles. The manager pays a hefty fine to the state, the factory pays medical damages to the injured worker, and the buyers receive financial restitution for their delays. Why rely on this highly fragmented, categorized approach instead of just issuing one single, sweeping ruling to fix the whole mess? This structure guarantees fairness. By isolating each specific violation, the system ensures nobody, not even a powerful factory owner, escapes their specific obligations. It is a concept of equal accountability that dates back centuries to the Magna Carta. This slide highlights another major benefit, the doctrine of stare decisis, or precedent. By applying these exact same classifications to similar cases over time, courts create a predictable environment where businesses know exactly how rules will be enforced. But that predictability isn't entirely rigid. As noted on this slide by Roscoe Pound, law must be stable and yet cannot stand still. Categorizing the law allows judges to keep most rules locked in place while adapting specific areas to meet changing needs. By keeping these legal obligations separate, the system prevents a private disagreement from escalating into a criminal matter without cause. These strict categories ensure that the government's power to punish is limited only to the rules that were actually broken. The U.S. legal system is an invisible, highly structured engine that keeps a complex, free society moving forward.